Welcome to My Period Stories, a video podcast where we talk about menstrual health and hygiene. We bring you men and women from all parts of the world to tell us about their period stories. You may be asking, but why? Because our goal is to normalize the period conversation. So if you've ever wondered about the food you eat and how it affects your period, you get the answers today as we talk about periods, wellness, herbs, and more. But that is after the break. Welcome again. I am Funke Treasure. So let's talk about what herbs and androgens mean. Never heard of androgens until I started researching for you to come on here. So what are androgens really?
So androgens are a hormone, and remember our thyroid glands, our pituitary glands, those are what makes and signals the hormones. So you have your progesterone, you have your estrogen, and the androgen also makes that progesterone.
Okay, so I know that some women struggle with what is called PCOS.
Yeah.
Which is essentially about hormonal imbalance. And sometimes their periods disappear for forever.
Yes.
I've had a guest here who said her period disappeared for 6 months and then it comes back and then it goes for 25 days and she's still menstruating. If you had a client like that, what would you do?
Yes, that PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome, very common. One, we would look at what her diet is. What is she eating? What is she not eating? Because one of the major hormones that play a factor in PCOS is your vitamin D levels. And your vitamin D levels are made by the body. However, it's only made if you go in the sunshine. So if that person is someone who is constantly in the office, they don't go outside at all, it's just from home to office to home, we will already know that, there's some deficiencies. And once you fix those deficiencies, you can find that the period then starts to regulate itself. Yes.
I like that you touched on sugary because a lot of us crave sugary things. Some people, the moment is coming, they're stocking up on ice cream.
Yes.
But we've heard from you, we should stock up on Yanokbaja and the road to
but
the hospital.
But you know what? The reality is hospital too far. The reality is, okay, what's the alternative? So when people come in, we give them an alternative. So if you don't take the ice cream and we put that to the side, let's make our own ice cream. We can make it with tiger nuts, and we're making it with our local ingredients. Dairy plays another role in PCOS, fibroids, menstrual cramps. With PCOS, you have acne. For some people, they have hair growing in places that they don't want. They have sometimes balding, so hair thinning. So we look at, are you taking dairy? When did we start with this powder milk trend, or that we have tea, we must put milk in there?
You're watching My Period Stories. We talk about everything periods here because we want to normalize the period conversation. The thing is, period symptoms are actually a sign that our hormones need help to get back in balance. The good thing is this shouldn't be a problem because herbs and adaptogens can come to our rescue. We can get this from a number of sources around us, provided we know what to do. And that's why our guest is here. Ijewere Sherese is a professional consultant in the field of nutrition. She graduated from the University of South Florida, and she's clinically trained with 18 years experience and practice in medical nutrition therapies. She has multiple certifications, including one from Cornell University. She has written several health and nutrition columns for This Day newspapers, Guardian Life, as well as magazines, including TW, Woman Leader, Parenting Magazine. Wait for this. She's also a co-host of a weekly radio series, Wellness of Hour, on Inspiration 92.3 FM here in Nigeria. Oh, we have such a great guest on the show today. Welcome, Sherese.
Thank you. I'm quite honored to be here.
We are honored to have you here. Thank you so much. Okay. periods are what it is, that we have a lot of adolescents who have cramps, they have a lot of pains. What would be your, and this is very common, so what would be your advice? What would be your nutritionist advice for people who have painful periods? They don't have endometriosis, they don't have PCOS, they don't have fibroids, they just have painful periods. Nothing
that's
more complex
showing
than that.
yes.
Yeah, that's showing.
So the painful periods, one, I want viewers and listeners to know that periods that have pain are not normal. That's inflammation. It's not normal. We have just normalized things because so many people are now having the same symptom, but it's not normal. I've never had a period pain ever, and my children don't either. But could it be because we are eating from the Garden of Eden? Could it be that we are being conscious of our water intake, of our sleep, and all those factors? So for someone with period pain, we would, of course, look at their diet. Are they eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of sugars, a lot of wheat? Because now we have a wheat that's genetically modified. Anything that's genetically modified disrupts your gut microbiome. So if you have inflammation in your body, it will show as pain, whether it's cramping, whether it's moodiness, or just not that feeling of fatigue all the time. A lot of people with PCOS are also many times without energy. They just wake up tired all the time. So yes, looking at the diet, their sleep, their movement, and knowing that it's a holistic approach.
I like that you touched on sugary, because a lot of us crave sugary things. Some people, the moment is coming, they're stocking up on ice cream. So, but we've heard from you, we should stock up on Yanokbaja and the road to
but
the
you
hospital.
know what? The reality is hospital too far. The reality is, okay, what's the alternative? So when people come in, we give them an alternative. So if you don't take the ice cream and we put that to the side, let's make our own ice cream. We can make it with tiger nuts, and we're making it with our local ingredients. Dairy plays another role in PCOS, fibroids, menstrual cramps. With PCOS, you have acne. For some people, they have hair growing in places that they don't want. They have sometimes balding, so hair thinning. So we look at, are you taking dairy? When did we start with this powder milk trend, or that we have tea, we must put milk in there? Back in our grandmother's days and our great-grandmother's days, they didn't have all these issues. They weren't putting milk in everything or wheat in everything, sugar in things. So accumulation of these ultra-processed foods and processed foods are causing the inflammation that causes us to have pain. Once you take it out, the pain eventually goes away. And once you change the lifestyle, the sleeping, the movement, you see a transformation in the body.
I like that you've touched on grandmothers, because I've had people engage with me to say, you just go on and on with these periods. Our grandmothers too had periods. They didn't make a fuss about it like this. Right. We had our peace when they were there. So you people are just... this is all about women emancipation and all of that. But I like that you've talked about grandmothers and diet as well. Yeah. What is it that they were doing then? Because it looked like they lived longer than
they
us.
Did. And some of the things that they did, because I've gone to village. My husband is from Edo State in Ubiaja, a town called Ubiaja. And when I went to the village, they cooked out of clay pots. So they don't have things that contaminate their food. They also drank out of like glass cups as well. And so things like plastics are also leaching things into our water system. So if you're drinking out of a plastic bottle or taking that sachet water, that's something that causes an estrogenic effect. It's known as a xenoestrogen.
What we call pure water.
What we call pure water. Yes.
For real.
Yes. So what's happening is the body thinks that it's estrogen, which means that you're having more estrogen in the system. So all these synthetic products, even some of the clothes that we wear, it's a talk for a whole nother day. But yes, so many things within the environment also causes estrogen levels to rise. Synthetic estrogens,
which our grandmothers didn't
they
experience.
did not have
So
it.
so they weren't having all these cysts and things that some people deal with
Correct.
cysts.
Yes.
How do you even go around that nutrition wise?
So nutrition wise, we'll look at where exactly is the cyst coming up? How often is it coming up? What do we do about it? Many times, I don't know if you've heard of castor oil.
Yes, castor oil.
So castor oil, you put it on the skin and it actually breaks the skin barrier, which means that it can penetrate past the upper layer of the skin and it reduces inflammation. So castor oil is a big thing that helps with reducing cysts and eliminating them. However, the foundation, what you're doing in the background, you're eating, you're sleeping, and all of that has a role to play. So until you change the foundation, the cysts can keep on coming up one time or the other.
Amazing. You're watching My Period Stories with me, Funke Treasure, the Moving Age. We'll be right back. You're watching My Period Stories with me, Funke Treasure. We're having a good time with Sherese Ijewere. She's a nutritionist and she has 18 years under her belt doing this. So we're back from the break, Sherese. Okay, let's go back to dairy products. I know that when you say dairy, we've talked about milk, how we started doing powdered milk instead of the liquid one. Mm-hmm. But then there's also yogurts. And I hear it's good for gut health.
Gut health. Now, it's good for gut health because of the probiotics that are in the culture that's into that yogurt. However, if the yogurt is made from dairy, which it is, some people make it from nut milk, but many people in our society make it from the dairy milk itself. Yes, that is a problem. So I would take my clients off all dairy. That means the 3-in-1 coffee would go, the margarine, the butter, anything that's linked to the cow, because the cow is given growth hormones. I don't know if you notice how cows grow so quickly. I mean, in order to meet demand. Even the chickens grow so quickly in order to meet demand. So when we're looking at our food, you have to think, is this a chicken that has been in this coop for just the last 3 months? How did it get big so quickly? So we're looking at everything, including the eggs. That's all under dairy as well.
Okay, so I'm just looking at you. I'm wondering, what shall we be eating now?
So you have your millet ogi. Say in the morning, you have your millet ogi, you have your beans, you have your akara. You have to be creative with things. And then you have those farmers, like the farmers who raise free range chickens, those farmers who allow the chickens to roam, and the guinea fowl and so forth, those things. Yes, you eat those. The convenience foods are causing us convenient diseases.
I like the way you put it. Yeah. The convenient food are causing us convenient diseases.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Sherese. I know that medical practitioners, or rather medical professionals, criticize herbs. They say it's going to affect your liver, it's going to affect your kidney. They practically discourage people from taking herbs. And I don't mean the paraga and the stuff. I mean real herbs that people take perhaps for fever and for those who have cramps and all of that. What's your take on that?
I think that when it comes to herbs, it's good if you are being guided by a practitioner or someone who understands, not just doing it randomly, because of course that's sometimes when it becomes too much. Also, if you are getting it from the people on the streets, I know that they preserve it with alcohol, and sometimes that's the reason that can harm your liver, harm your kidneys. So just being under the watch of a practitioner is important.
Okay, let me come back to you now. In all of your years of practice, and you've done 18 years now, talk to me briefly about the particular cases that have to do with periods that stand out for you.
Okay, I just had one where this lady's coming back for follow-up, but initially she had PCOS. She was about to get married. She noticed that her periods were very irregular and she wanted to regulate them before the wedding. So she came, we looked at her diet, we put her on a program, focused on certain green vegetables for her to eat, made sure that she was sleeping well. And then before the wedding, before you know it, it was about 2 months, period came back. I mean, she was also quite, of course, taken aback, but very happy about the whole process.
What did you tell her? I mean, I know this is not a consultation, but you can give us one or two tips.
Yes, we had her detox. So she needed to cleanse her system. So your hormones are communicators for the entire body. And if there is blockage within the body, those hormones are not sending the signals to the receptors so that the communication is clear. So the period regulated with the detox and with some changes in her lifestyle. She got married. Baby is now 1.5 years. He's walking. And just last month, yes, within a month, she came back. She said that she started having jerking on her feet. So jerking when she's sleeping, the leg would just jerk on its own. And so she went to the doctors. Doctors felt like, is this seizures? Here, take this medication. They checked her blood sugar levels and realized that the blood sugar was elevated and said, okay, this is diabetes, take this. Now, currently, the way we practice is let us listen to the patients well. Let's ask a bit of history. If you ask the history, those who have PCOS are more predisposed to diabetes. So yes, there's a possibility that this is diabetes, but are you giving the patients a chance to change their lifestyle instead of immediately giving them medications? So she got the seizure medication. She also got the blood sugar medication, but something within her felt like this could be reversed naturally. Let me go and see my nutritionist. So when she came to me, we were quite shocked that she was on seizure meds. Where did seizure meds come from? You know, we told her, hold off on the seizure meds. Let's look at what you're doing. Are you sleeping well? She's not sleeping well. And meaning that she's only sleeping 4 hours. She is stressed because of work, because of baby, because of family, taking care of the child. And she wasn't eating well. Lots of bread, lots of rice, biscuits, eating after
You
her
don't like
toddler.
rice.
No, okay, you're convinced.
You don't like
but
rice.
because
I
I
am
know
convinced.
that there are other foods around us. And so we changed her diet. Blood sugar came down. She got a pedometer. Right now, she is so happy. All the fat around her stomach that was just loaded and just sat there reduced. She did her detox. We also gave her infusions because she had a lot of deficiencies. So one of the things we also do is a nutrient analysis test that picks up what deficiencies you're having. Because remember, as I said, processed foods will make the body devoid of certain nutrients. And as of today, this is 6 weeks later, she's feeling much better. I actually have a testimony on her sharing her story. Yeah, so she's very happy.
Amazing.
And at the end of the day, she's not dealing with any side effects from medications. And she has promised herself that this is the way forward. She will make sure that she's not lazy about her eating. She follows her timetable. She goes to bed on time. She drinks her water because her drink before was fizzy drinks. So now she's drinking her water. Her bowels are moving every day, whereas before maybe it was every 3-4 days. So of course the pipes are being cleaned out, the drainage system is being cleaned out, and she feels good.
Amazing. You're watching My Period Stories with me, Funke Treasure, the Moving Age. We'll be right back.
All right, Gloria, how are you?
I'm fine, ma.
I want to ask you, what did you learn today?
I've learned a lot today because during my own period, I don't know the solution before.
Okay.
My own period, and like 4 days I used to do. So the 4 days, if I'm having my first period, I will not come to school. I'll be absent from the school. So, and I want to know the solution to do before, and what I can use
Okay.
to take me out of the
Pain, to
pain.
reduce the pain.
Yes, to reduce the pain from me. So, but you said that chocolate is not good to the body.
Too much of it is not alright.
Too much of chocolate and sugars and it's
Yes.
no good during
Yeah,
your
you
period.
can drink herbal tea.
Yes, you say that if you are doing your period, you need to clean yourself, keep
Yes.
yourself clean.
Yes.
You must clean and change your
Sanitary pads.
sanitary pants
Very
like 4 hours in a day.
Yes.
So it will not be smelly.
Yes.
So I now want to say that what about me that me I know to use pad. I usually use only pints.
Oh, okay.
So I
Okay.
don't know what because if I use pad, I know to be comfortable with myself.
Okay.
So used to like it will not stay very well in my own body.
Okay.
So me I know used to use pints to do it instead of using pad.
Right. Okay, so what's going to happen is that we're going to give you reusable sanitary pads, and I'll show you how to attach it properly so that it doesn't shift and so that it's more comfortable for you. Do you understand? So you'll be able to use, because it's preferable to use sanitary pads. They are pads for a reason, because it will absorb the blood, so it will not be so uncomfortable. That's why we have pads, so you can use it and dispose it immediately after. It's not when you use your pants like that, you have to wash it and wash it and wash it
Yes.
before the stain will leave and everything. So I'll show you how before we leave today. So thank you for sharing with us. Thank you very much, Gloria. We'll see you very soon another time. Have a
Thank you, ma'am.
Before you go, I know that those who have PCOS have all kinds of symptoms to deal with. One of them is apnea. How do you deal with apnea as a nutritionist?
We look at their nutrient levels. So sleep apnea, if their vitamin D levels are low, we know, okay, that's definitely a hormone trigger. Their magnesium, are they taking enough magnesium from the foods that they're eating?
Where do we take magnesium from?
So it would be your green vegetables.
Oh, there.
Yeah. So if you're getting enough of those, things balance out. And then are you doing some meditative, some grounding exercises where you engage your parasympathetic nervous system?
Okay, that's very long. Para what?
Parasympathetic nervous system. So you have
Right.
your your fight or flight responses for the body, those that protect you when you're anxious or you're in a situation. And when you tap into it to calm it down, it also helps to regulate your hormones. And tapping into it could look like just doing some deep breathing, not
Like-
shouting all the time. Yes, just being in tune with your body. So people who get angry a lot, shout a lot, they just have a misalignment in their spirit and body. And once you tap into it, the deep breathing, maybe a massage, maybe singing, exercise, all of this is tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, that helps you to just realign and rebalance the body.
Whew. Interesting. I'm just wondering. I'm wondering whether this is for those who are educated and aware. I mean, I'm trying to imagine the woman in Mushi, downtown Lagos, who's waking up at 5, plying a trade, the young girl who's going to school, a teenager, adolescent. How
Would
do
I
they cope with
say-
all of these?
Yes.
It sounds fanciful.
Right. But your shows like this that you are giving to the public, to the audience, all they need to do is be intentional. So you want to be present with any activity that you're doing, because I do notice the young girls nowadays, young men, they're not present. They're just doing, but being present means that you can take a minute, because if you're not present for your health, later on, the hospital bills are there, the symptoms are there, the diagnosis is there. And guess which one costs more? The other one.
Treatment.
Yes. So being intentional with the time you go to sleep, is it everything that we must be in? As in every party, every bell that rings that we must be there? No, you have to choose what you're doing. Otherwise, sometimes the PCOS, the fibroids, the infertility, all these things show up. And it's just saying that there is imbalance.
Thank you very much, Sherese. Oh, wow, that's a lot to absorb. I've certainly learned a lot from you today. If I've not learned anything, I must look for it. And I hope you can say the same at home. Normalizing period conversation, that's what we're here to do. And I'm going to end with this quote from Henry Ward Becker. He says, "The body is like a piano and happiness is like music. It is needful to have the instrument in good order." And you heard that from Sherese in her own way. Thank you so much. I'm Funke Treasure, and this has been my Period Stories. Let's do this again next week.